The door to my apartment swung open, and my girlfriend Bella stood there, her eyes red and blazing. Behind her, her colleague Leo was slumped over, unconscious. I just finished beating the hell out of him for his condescending provocations. "Is this all you know how to do, Caleb?" she shrieked, her voice cracking. "Make money? Leo is kinder than you, more considerate. He gives me the emotional connection you can't." Crack. The sound of my hand connecting with her perfect face echoed in the foyer. That bastard can't even afford a damn studio apartment in this city, and he's got a whole family of leeches draining him dry. I snarled, my knuckles stinging. Let's see what kind of emotional connection he can give you when you don't have the foundation I built for you. Bella, a trickle of blood at the corner of her mouth, stared at me in shock. I pointed to the door. She helped the dead weight of Leo to his feet and stumbled out, heading for the hospital. I grabbed my jacket and walked out into the city night to clear my head. The midnight air was cold, but my mind was still on fire with the argument. It was her birthday. I'd arranged everything perfectly. Catered spread from her favorite Michelin-starred fusion place, the whole apartment decorated. But she'd walked in with him, and Leo, all smarmy confidence and passive aggression, had immediately started picking everything apart. He made it less than 30 minutes before my fist did the talking. The bottle of vintage Bordeaux I'd been saving exploded against his skull. And to his credit, the kid had a solid chin. He just went straight to sleep. Bella had shoved me away, cradling Leo on the sofa, her eyes a mix of fury and disbelief. "Are you insane, Caleb? Leo just has a dark sense of humor. Can't you take a joke?" "Yeah," I'd scoffed, wiping wine from my hands. "And I have a hands-on personality. Looks like he couldn't take that, either. You went too far. He came here to celebrate my birthday, made a few jokes, and you nearly killed him." "Jokes? You call that a joke?" I shot back. "He claimed he was allergic to mangoes and threw the custom cake I got you, your favorite, in the trash. He took his chopsticks and stirred through every single catering dish, complaining that nothing was to his taste and he'd rather just order takeout. When I was pouring soup, he stood 6 feet away and still managed to accidentally spill it all over me. You don't beat a snake like that senseless. You save him for what? A Christmas present." A sudden, chilling sense of unfamiliarity washed over me. I'd never seen her be so willfully blind. She opened her mouth, but no defense came out. When one line of attack failed, she just switched tactics. "All you ever do is work, Caleb. You have no idea how to be there for someone, how to care. Leo is just a colleague, and even he remembered my birthday. Being good to someone isn't just about buying them things. Emotional value is important too." The irony was staggering. I'd worked myself to the bone to give her the world. If she so much as glanced at something in a shop window, it was hers, no questions asked. And now, all that effort was worth less than a colleague remembering her birthday. Fine, I said, my voice dangerously low. "Since he's so good at providing emotional value, you can get the hell out with him. I'd love to see what kind of emotional support a guy who can't even afford his own damn studio apartment can offer you." That set her off. She shot up from the sofa, stalking toward me, her finger with its blood-red nail jabbing at my face. "That's where Leo is better than you," she sneered. "You're almost 30 and you have all the charm of a rock. No woman would ever want you except me." That's when I slapped her. "Take your considerate colleague and get out. Now, before I throw both of you out." Bella wiped the blood from her lip, looking at me like I was a stranger, a monster. Had he really lost it? The man who used to treat her like a queen, who cherished her. "I'm leaving," she said, her voice trembling with rage. "Don't you dare regret this." She struggled to haul Leo out the door. Caleb was acting too strangely today. Better let him cool off. He'd come crawling back eventually, begging for forgiveness. But she wouldn't make it easy for him. Watching the woman who once looked at me with nothing but love now gaze with only disdain for me and concern for another man. Our 3 years together felt like a joke. A bitter ache settled in my chest. After they left, I grabbed my coat and stormed out. A blast of wind sobered me up. I looked around and realized I'd wandered into the Neon Quarter, the city's main entertainment district. My eyes caught on 3 young, stylish girls huddled outside a 24-hour ramen joint, their faces a mix of longing and frustration. "God, I want some so bad," the one with a high ponytail and a crop top said, licking her lips. "I love this place, especially with that thick layer of chili crisp they pour on top." "My stomach has been screaming at me all day," said the girl with pink hair, fidgeting with her phone. "I had 1 egg and a bowl of oatmeal this morning, and that's it." "Yeah, but..." The third girl, in ripped jeans and an assortment of silver earrings, pulled up her banking app. The balance read $18. 32. That's not even enough for one of us, let alone all 3. If our stream doesn't take off soon, we're not just going to be hungry, we're going to be sleeping on park benches. I looked at them, Bella's words echoing in my head. An idea formed. I walked over. Go on in, I said. It's on me tonight. 3 pairs of wide eyes snapped toward me. The ponytail girl recovered first, a huge grin spreading across her face. Whoa, dude, you're awesome. Are you an actual angel? The pink-haired girl nodded furiously. Thank you. You're seriously handsome. You ever think about being an influencer? We're experts. With your looks, you'd blow up. I managed a small smile. You can't even afford dinner, and you're thinking about marketing someone else. The girl with the earrings, though quieter, gave me a sincere look. Seriously, thank you. We haven't had a decent meal in days. I found a booth, and a few minutes later, they slid in across from me, each with a steaming bowl of ramen. They'd gotten one for me, too. So what's your name, handsome? The ponytail girl asked, slurping noodles. You're dressed like you own the place. What are you doing eating at a dive like this? Caleb, I said simply. Felt like a change of pace. Caleb, the pink-haired girl chirped immediately. I'm Pixie, that's Roxy, and the cool one is Jinx. We've been best friends since we were kids. Roxy nodded. We all had dreams of making it big. After graduation, we pooled some money from our folks and started traveling, trying to become streamers. Jinx put down her chopsticks, her voice tinged with resignation. Turns out passion doesn't pay the bills. Without a team or a plan, the money ran out fast. Our metrics are garbage. Now we can barely eat. I listened, a pang of empathy hitting me. It reminded me of my own early days, the grind and the struggle. These girls might be down on their luck, but their eyes were still bright with life. They were treating a $10 bowl of ramen like a 5-star meal. They were a whirlwind of chatter, constantly praising the food and thanking me. It was a stark contrast to Bella, who would sit through the most expensive meals with an air of boredom, as if it were all just something she was owed. What kind of content do you stream? I asked. We've all got talents. Singing, dancing, that kind of stuff, Pixie said, scratching her head. But nobody's watching. We don't know what we're doing wrong. I'd seen enough successful business pitches to know the importance of a unique angle. But I didn't say anything, just let them talk. They told me stories from their travels, and I shared some of my own. Their laughter was genuine, their compliments unfiltered and sincere. It was relaxing. Caleb, Roxy said, her gaze more perceptive than I expected. You look like you've got a lot on your mind. When we saw you on the street, you looked so grim. I offered a faint smile. It was the first time anyone had so directly asked about my feelings. I didn't go into the details with Bella, just said vaguely, just some personal stuff. It's over now. Well, don't be bummed out. Pixie leaned in, patting my arm. Look at us. We're broke as hell, and we're still having fun. Being happy is what matters most, right? Jinx nodded. Exactly. You're handsome and you're rich. What's there to be sad about? Whatever it is, you'll feel better after a good night's sleep. Their comfort was simple, direct, and surprisingly effective. A warmth spread through my chest. I felt a real connection with them, like we could talk forever. Before we knew it, the ramen shop was closing, but the sun was still hours away. Where are you guys staying tonight? I asked. I had walked here, so my car was back in my apartment. I figured I'd call an Uber to take them wherever they were headed. The 3 girls exchanged an uneasy glance. We were kind of planning on crashing in the park for the night, Pixie admitted. Absolutely not. I shut that down immediately. 3 young women sleeping in a park? Not happening. I pulled out my phone and booked a suite at a nearby hotel. Come on, you're staying with me tonight. For real? They squealed in unison. Pixie threw her arms around my arm, shaking it with excitement. Caleb, you are the best. You're our savior. The hotel suite was spacious and bright. The girls explored it with wide-eyed wonder, their excited chatter filling the room. I leaned back on the sofa, watching their infectious energy, and felt a sense of peace I hadn't experienced in a long time. I'd spent a couple $100 on them, and they were calling me a hero, a savior. It was a fraction of what I spent on Bella, yet all I ever got from her was criticism and cheap shots about my emotional availability. Just then my phone buzzed. Bella's name flashed on the screen. Still furious, I declined the call without a second thought and powered the phone off. Everything okay, Caleb? Roxy asked, noticing the shift in my mood. Yeah, nothing important. I waved it off, taking a sip of water. Now, tell me more about your streaming ideas. I want to hear your pitch. They immediately gathered around me, launching into their plans. I offered a few suggestions, and the atmosphere was electric with creative energy. Before we knew it, the sky outside was turning a soft gray. We had talked all night, eventually passing out right there on the couches. I was in the middle, surrounded by the 3 girls, a genuine smile on my face for the first time in ages. I woke up around 10 the next morning. Pixie was using my arm as a pillow, Roxy was leaning against my shoulder, and Jinx was curled up at my feet. All three were fast asleep, smiles on their faces. I carefully slipped my arm out from under Pixie, got up and washed my face. When I woke them, they all blushed, realizing how they'd fallen asleep. "Sorry, Caleb," Pixie mumbled, her face bright red. "We were just so tired." "Don't worry about it," I said with a smile. "Come on, let's get some breakfast." The hotel's breakfast buffet was a feast. The girls loaded their plates like squirrels preparing for winter, their unabashed joy making me feel even better. "Caleb," Roxy began hesitantly, halfway through her waffle. "We wanted to ask you something." "Go ahead." I put down my fork. Pixie took a deep breath. "We know you're a good guy. We were wondering if you could help us out a little more. We really want to keep streaming, but we don't even have money for food. If this doesn't work, we'll have to go home and get dead-end jobs." Jinx added, "You're a business owner, Caleb. You could sign us. Start a small media company. If we get big, we could do brand deals for you, star in your ads." I had to admit, Jinx had a sharp mind. I looked at their hopeful faces and an idea clicked. Internet audiences were tired of polished, perfect influencers. They craved authenticity, something raw and real. These three girls were vibrant, genuine, and had this unique, edgy alt-girl vibe. If I could package that correctly, they could be huge. "I have an idea," I said, meeting their gaze. "We'll film a series of TikToks. The theme will be $100 one day with three alt-girls. Each episode, we find a guest who has to entertain you for a full day on a $100 budget. They'll have to find the cheapest, most fun things to do. I'll be the first guest." Their eyes lit up. "That's brilliant," Pixie exclaimed. "A whole day of fun for just $100? People would totally watch that, and we're experts at balling on a budget." Roxy added, "We wouldn't even have to act." Jinx nodded, impressed. "Caleb, you're a genius. This is going to blow up. We got to work immediately." I had my assistant drop off some professional camera gear, and after a quick setup, we started a live stream, filming for the TikTok at the same time. Our first stop was a massive vintage market on the outskirts of the city, a labyrinth of stalls selling cheap, gaudy clothes that were perfect for their aesthetic. "Caleb, this jacket with the rhinestone skull is so you," Pixie said, throwing a bright yellow leopard print coat over my shoulders. Roxy held up a pair of skin-tight silver pants. "And these, you'll be a total showstopper. Everyone will be looking at you." Jinx completed the look with a pair of oversized sunglasses and a chunky, gold-plated chain. The finishing touch. I looked at my reflection, a chaotic mess of clashing patterns and cheap bling. I was the polar opposite of my usual tailored suit CEO self. I couldn't help but laugh. The girls were howling beside me, and the live stream chat was exploding. El Mayo is the CEO having a breakdown. "These girls are hilarious. So real. $100 for a whole day? Did he just blow the budget on that outfit? Need to see the rest." Next, we hit a boba shop for oversized drinks with extra pearls. For lunch, we gorged on food truck tacos, loaded fries, and corn dogs. We spent the afternoon in a cheap accessory store, buying piles of flashy earrings and bracelets. By evening, we were at a karaoke bar, and the girls had me singing and dancing. We ended the night at a barbecue joint, eating ribs, drinking cheap beer, and talking for hours. We definitely went over the $100 budget, but for the first episode, it was worth it. The viewers loved it, and locals started flooding the chat with suggestions for their own favorite cheap spots. After a professional edit, the video went live. Within 2 hours, it was trending. People were drawn to the raw, unfiltered fun. The girls' follower count skyrocketed. And across town, in her sterile corporate office, Bella was scrolling through her feed when our video popped up. She stared at the screen. There was Caleb, dressed in the most ridiculous outfit she'd ever seen, surrounded by 3 flashy, young women. He was laughing, a relaxed, genuine laugh she hadn't seen in years. A white-hot rage flared her chest. "Unbelievable, Caleb," she hissed, her knuckles white as she gripped her phone. "You won't answer my calls, you won't reply to my texts, but you have time to run around with these tramps to spite me? You think this will make me come crawling back? Dream on." She had felt a pang of regret the day after their fight, had even considered calling to apologize for her harsh words. But seeing this video, all guilt evaporated, replaced by a fierce competitive anger. "Bella, you okay? You don't look so good," Leo said, sliding a cup of her favorite black tea on her desk. His voice was laced with faux concern, but his eyes held a glint of triumph. He'd seen the video too. Bella looked up at him, and a plan formed. A cold smile touched her lips as she pocketed her phone. "I'm fine. Are you free tonight? I want to go shopping." Leo couldn't believe his luck. The office ice queen was asking him out. "Of course. Anything you want, Bella. I'm all yours." He'd been sucking up to her for months just to get to this point. If he could lock down a woman this beautiful and wealthy, he'd be set for life. Bella deliberately chose the most expensive mall in the city. She bought the latest designer handbag and tried on diamond necklaces. With every purchase, she had Leo take a picture. She carefully edited each one and posted it to her Instagram story with the caption, "This is what life is supposed to feel like." Cherished. In every shot, Leo was strategically visible, a shoulder in the frame, his reflection in a mirror. She made sure the post was public, then sat back, sipping her tea, waiting for the inevitable furious call from Caleb. But the night passed in silence. The only notifications she got were likes and comments from a few coworkers. Meanwhile, I was busy brainstorming the next video with the girls. When the Instagram notification popped up, I glanced at it, saw the picture of Bella and Leo, and felt nothing. "Who's that, Caleb?" Roxy asked, noticing my pause. "Nobody." I opened the app, went to Bella's profile, found the post, and hit block. My feelings for her had died the moment I'd thrown her out. I had spent years trying to tolerate her moods and meet her endless demands, but her entitlement and constant criticism had eroded all my patience. Now, surrounded by 3 girls who brought nothing but laughter and support, I was finally living the life I was supposed to. I put my phone down and smiled at the girls. "All right, let's talk about the next episode. How about a $500 night market challenge?" $100 was a little tight. 500 gives us more to play with. We can get better content out of it. "Yes, let's do it." Pixie's hand shot up. "Night markets have the best food. It'll be awesome." "We could add an interactive part," Roxy suggested. "Let the fans vote on what we eat." Jinx nodded. "And we could even invite a fan to join us. Boost engagement." They chattered excitedly as I called my assistant to prep the gear for the next day. Across town, Bella waited all night for a reaction that never came. When she checked Caleb's profile and saw the blank screen where his posts used to be, she realized what had happened. She'd been blocked. "Caleb!" she screamed, slamming her phone on the table. "You think blocking me is the end of it? You wish." She snatched her phone back up and texted Leo, "Book us a flight. We're going on a beach vacation tomorrow." Leo's reply was instant, a smug smile on his face. "You got it, Bella." Bella stared at her phone, her eyes burning with defiance. She refused to believe Caleb could just throw away 3 years of history. She would make him regret it. She would make him come begging for her. She had no idea that at that very moment, she was the furthest thing from his mind. He was already completely absorbed in his new venture with the 3 girls who had unexpectedly crashed into his life. The next few days were a blur of activity. After handling my corporate duties, I'd meet up with Pixie, Roxy, and Jinx for intense filming sessions. The $500 Experience series was a massive hit. We followed it up with Alt Girl Diaries and Influencer Life Hacks, and our raw, authentic style attracted a massive following. In just 1 week, their joint account blew past 1 million followers, then quickly climbed to 3 million. Established streamers were reaching out for collaborations. Their live streams consistently had over 100,000 concurrent viewers, donations poured in, and brand deals started rolling in. Caleb, that snack company we signed with, just sent over the samples. Pixie burst in, carrying a huge box. "So much good stuff. We could do a giveaway for the fans during the stream." Roxy, tracking their metrics, looked up with a grin. "Our fan engagement is through the roof. People are saying we're the only thing they look forward to watching every day. They say they feel happier just by following our adventures." Jinx was busy replying to emails. "A few major brands want to work with us on ad campaigns, and a reality show just sent an inquiry. Should we consider it?" I sat on the sofa, watching them, genuinely happy for their success. I'd started this on a whim, setting up a small production studio and hiring a professional team to help them, and now it was a legitimate business. And in the process, I'd found a new passion and successfully broken into a whole new industry. Screen the ad and show offers carefully, I advised. Only work with brands that fit our style and have solid products. We can't betray our fans' trust. "You got it, boss," they replied in unison, their eyes shining with admiration. They were no longer the broke, struggling dreamers I'd met outside a ramen shop. They had stable incomes, a loyal fan base, and were closer than ever to their dreams. And they knew it was all thanks to me. Their affection was palpable. They orbited around me constantly, taking care of every little thing. That night, after a marathon stream, Pixie suggested, "Caleb, we've been grinding so hard. Let's go out for hot pot tonight to celebrate. I know this amazing Sichuan place that's so spicy it'll make your head spin." "Yes, I'm so in." Roxy and Jinx chimed in. "I'm craving it." I was game. We drove to the restaurant, got a table by the window, and ordered the spiciest broth in a mountain of food. As the pot boiled, filling the air with a fragrant, spicy steam, we dug in, laughing and talking. Pixie and Roxy were having a contest to see who could handle the most spice, both sweating but refusing to back down. Then, a familiar voice cut through the noise. "Caleb." I looked up. Bella and Leo were standing a few tables away, staring at me. Bella was dressed in an elegant designer dress, her makeup flawless. Leo stood behind her like an accessory, holding several shopping bags, a smug, challenging look in his eyes. He clearly hadn't learned his lesson. The energy at our table died instantly. Pixie, Roxy, and Jinx stopped eating, their eyes darting between me and the newcomers. The air crackled with tension. Bella strode to our table, her arms crossed. Well, Caleb, living it up with your three little tramps, I see," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. "Not a single call in days, and you blocked me? I think you owe me an explanation." Her voice wasn't loud, but it was sharp enough to turn heads. I put down my chopsticks, my voice flat. "Bella, we're done. I don't owe you anything. Where was my explanation when you let this two-faced parasite insult me in my own home?" Hearing me call out his family's financial troubles, Leo's face flushed crimson. It was his sore spot. His entire family was disabled, and he was their sole provider, which was the main reason he was so desperate to latch onto Bella. "You." He took a step forward, fists clenched, then seemed to remember how our last encounter ended. He stopped. "You're a brute. I won't lower myself to your level." "Oomph." I couldn't be bothered to look at him. "You're a waste of space. Get lost." Bella sneered. "Done? After 3 years, you think you can just say we're done? You think you can replace me with these things?" Like a flash, Pixie was on her feet, planting herself in front of me. "You watch your mouth. Who are you calling tramps? We're Caleb's friends, and we're a hell of a lot better than some ungrateful woman who doesn't know what she has." "Exactly," Roxy added. "Caleb is an amazing guy. You didn't appreciate him, and now you show up with your little boy toy and have the nerve to blame him?" Jinx said nothing, but her cold stare was more intimidating than any insult. The three of them formed a protective wall in front of me. I didn't need it, but the loyalty felt damn good. I put a hand on Pixie's shoulder, urging her to sit. "If you came here to start a fight, you can leave," I told Bella, my patience wearing thin. "Don't ruin our dinner." Just then, Leo stepped forward, placing a gentle hand on Bella's arm. "Caleb, please don't be angry," he said in a placating tone. "Bella just cares about you so much. She hasn't done anything to betray you, but seeing you being so intimate with these 3 women, it really hurt her. Just explain yourself, and we can all calm down." The words were conciliatory, but his eyes were filled with smug satisfaction. He even shot me a subtle, condescending smirk. "Explain myself?" I laughed, a cold, sharp sound. Then, with all my strength, I swung my open hand across his face. The slap echoed through the restaurant. Stars exploded in Leo's vision. Bella jumped in. "Our relationship is completely above board. Unlike you, running around with these girls." "We're more above board than you'll ever be," Pixie retorted. "Our whole lives are on our live stream. We work together, we hang out together. That's a lot better than whatever shady stuff you two are up to. Besides, Caleb blocked you. You have no right to tell him what to do." "I'm his girlfriend," Bella shrieked. "You were," Roxy corrected her sharply. "He's not into you anymore. Take your boy toy and get out of here." The term boy toy was the final straw for Leo. His head was still ringing from the slap, and public humiliation was setting in. He'd been holding back, but being openly mocked by some pink-haired girl was too much. He lost it, grabbing a beer bottle from the next table and lunging toward the girls. My reaction was pure instinct. I grabbed the heavy pot of boiling, bubbling hot pot from the center of our table and hurled its entire contents at him. A piercing scream ripped through the restaurant as the molten hot, chili-infused oil splattered across Leo's face and chest. You could almost hear the sizzle of his skin. The searing pain sent him to the floor, writhing and howling, tears and snot streaming down his face. Bella stood frozen, her face ashen with horror. Pixie, Roxy, and Jinx were momentarily stunned, shocked by my violent reaction, but a flash of triumphant satisfaction crossed their faces. I looked down at the pathetic man, squirming on the floor, then turned to the catatonic Bella. "Get him to a hospital. I'll cover the bill." To the girls, I said, "Let's go. We'll eat somewhere else." "You got it, Caleb," they chirped, and as we left, they didn't forget to shoot a triumphant glare at Leo. We walked out of the restaurant, leaving behind the chaos and Leo's agonized cries. Once we were outside, Pixie cheered. "Caleb, that was so badass. He totally deserved that." "Yeah, That's how you deal with a snake like him. Roxy agreed. Jinx, ever the pragmatist, added, but Caleb, aren't you worried he'll call the cops? I smiled. Don't worry. I can handle it. Besides, he came at you with a weapon. It was self-defense. More importantly, I knew Bella. Her pride and vanity were her weaknesses. A public scandal would tarnish her reputation. And based on her reaction today, she still had feelings for me. She wouldn't let me get into trouble. And I was right. Furious and panicked, Bella ultimately bullied Leo into silence, paying him off to keep his mouth shut and prevent the incident from going public. After that night, the girls' popularity exploded. Their follower count blew past 5 million, making them one of the hottest influencer groups on the platform. Their content became more diverse and sophisticated. They still did their lifestyle challenges, but now they added talent showcases and charity streams, which their fans loved. Major brands were lining up to work with them. Endorsements and ad campaigns became a daily occurrence. A film studio even offered them roles in a new web series. The three girls had completely shed their old lives, becoming more confident and radiant every day. And I, their behind-the-scenes boss and producer, started getting attention too. I'd make occasional cameos on their streams, and despite my quiet demeanor, my appearances always sent their fans into a frenzy. They nicknamed me the Shadow CEO. One evening, the girls wrapped up a massive live shopping event. Their sales had broken 9 figures. At the celebration dinner, Pixie raised her glass. To Caleb, I'm serious. We wouldn't be here without you. Roxy lifted hers. To Caleb, we're sticking with you forever, so don't even think about getting rid of us. Jinx simply said, same here. I smiled, clinking my glass against theirs. This was all your hard work. I just gave you a little push. You're too modest, Caleb, Pixie said. If you hadn't found us, given us a plan, and signed us, we'd probably be stuck in some dead-end 9-to-5 right now. Her comment was met with laughter. Just then my phone rang. An unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Caleb, it's me. It was Bella. Her voice was thick with tears. My good mood soured. What do you want? I asked coldly. Caleb, I was wrong, she sobbed. I was horrible to you. I shouldn't have lost my temper. I shouldn't have been so close with Leo. I shouldn't have said those hurtful things. Can you please give me another chance? Can we get back together? I was stunned by her sudden plea, but I felt no emotion except a detached sense of irony. Bella, we're over. No, we're not, she insisted. We were together for 3 years. We had something real. We can't just throw it away. Caleb, I know you still love me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have cared so much about me and Leo. I almost laughed out loud. I didn't care who you were with. I cared that you had no boundaries and that you let someone disrespect me to my face. My voice remained flat and cold. And besides, I'm happy now. I have no desire to go back to how things were. Happy? You call this happiness? Messing around with those 3 tramps. Her voice turned shrill again, before she caught herself, her tone shifting to desperate pleading. Caleb, I know it's just a phase. They're not serious people. They only want your money. They don't really care about you. Only I do. I truly love you. Please come back. I'll never lose my temper again. I'll be good to you. I'll support your work. I'll give you the life you want. I snorted, looking over at the 3 girls who were laughing and joking at the other end of the table. The light in their eyes was real. Their concern for me was real. With them, I felt relaxed, happy, and appreciated, all things Bella had never given me. Maybe this was what people meant by emotional value. Bella, I'm going to say this one last time. My life is good now. I don't need you in it. Don't call me again. I hung up and blocked the number. Who was that, Caleb? Roxy asked, noticing the look on my face. No one important. A smile returned to my face. Come on, let's get back to the party. Let's celebrate our success. Though curious, the girls respected my privacy and dropped the subject, raising their glasses again. On the other end of the line, Bella listened to the dead tone, then slid to the floor, sobbing. After the hot pot incident, Leo had been left with severe burns and permanent facial scarring. He lost his job. Bella paid him a settlement and then cut him off completely, leaving him and his dependent family to fend for themselves. She finally realized that Caleb was the one she truly loved. All her past complaints were just the grumblings of someone who had gotten too used to being pampered and catered to, taking his kindness for granted. She remembered that night at the restaurant, how the girl's first instinct when Leo lunged wasn't to run, but to protect Caleb. It had only been a few days, and what Caleb had done for them was nothing compared to what he'd given her. Yet they were willing to stand up for him. The realization hit her so hard she slapped herself across the face again and again. Why do you only realize what you had once it's gone? She was drowning in regret. She started calling me, texting me, even waiting outside my office building. But it was like I was a ghost. I was never there. and all her attempts to reach me were ignored. Bella looked at her own haggard reflection in the mirror, then at the glamorous photos of the 3 girls on her phone. Her heart filled with a toxic mix of jealousy and despair. She refused to lose Caleb. She refused to lose to 3 alt girls. She made a vow. She would get him back, no matter what it took. Bella didn't give up. If anything, she became more obsessed. She knew where my office was and started showing up every day, impeccably dressed, waiting for me downstairs. One afternoon, as I was leaving, I saw her standing there in a white sundress, her makeup soft and delicate. She looked gentle and vulnerable, a complete stranger from the fiery, sharp-tongued woman I once knew. Caleb! She ran over, her eyes filled with desperate hope. I stopped. Why are you here again? I just wanted to see you, she said, her voice trembling. I know you're still angry. I can wait. I'll wait as long as it takes for you to forgive me. Then you'll be waiting a long time. My tone was clipped. This is pointless. It's not pointless, she cried. If there's a chance you'll take me back, then anything is worth it. Caleb, I know I was wrong. Just give me one more chance. I'll change, I promise. I'll change my temper, my selfishness. I'll do whatever you want. No, thank you. I have things to do. I try to walk around her. Caleb, she grabbed my arm, tears streaming down her face. Don't go. I know you're with those girls now, but they're not right for you. They're just internet trash. They're not in your world. We are. We're the ones who belong together. I'll decide who's right for me, I said, yanking my arm free. I like being with them. They make me happy. That's all that matters. Isn't that what you were talking about? That. What was it? I tapped my temple, feigning deep thought. Oh, right. Emotional value. The happiness you have with them is temporary, she sobbed. Once the novelty wears off, you'll see that I'm the one who's best for you. Caleb, don't let them fool you. Even if I'm being fooled, I'm enjoying the ride, I said coldly. Bella, I suggest you find some self-respect and stop harassing me. Otherwise, I'll have security remove you. Without another glance, I walked to my car. Bella watched me go, her body shaking with sobs. But she didn't give up. The next day, she was there again. Then she started waiting outside my apartment building. My building was a high-end complex with tight security. Bella couldn't get in, so she waited at the gate from morning until night. That evening, I came home with Pixie, Roxy, and Jinx. We saw her huddled on a bench near the entrance. Her face was pale, and the once proud, commanding executive now looked small and pathetic. Caleb, what is she doing here? Pixie whispered, pointing. I just shook my head, not wanting to engage. My only goal was to get inside without a scene. But she saw us. Caleb, she scrambled to her feet and ran toward us. Pixie and Roxy immediately stepped in her way. Bella, this has gone too far, Pixie said firmly. Caleb has made it clear he doesn't want you. Why can't you just stop? This is between me and Caleb. It has nothing to do with you. Bella, try to push past them. It has everything to do with us, Roxy shot back. Caleb is with us now. We won't let you bother him. Jinx's voice was like ice. All you're doing is making him hate you more, and making everyone else lose respect for you. I don't need respect from a bunch of street rats. Bella ignored them, her pleading eyes fixed on me. Caleb, I know you still care about me. Just give me one more chance. Please? I swear I'll change. I looked at her and shook my head. Bella, I've already said everything there is to say. Go home. Stop this. I won't go home, she said stubbornly. Not until you agree to take me back. I'll wait here forever if I have to. Suit yourself. I turned to the girls. Let's go. I'll make you guys that new pasta dish tonight. The girls shot Bella one last look of defiance and then skipped into the building behind me like a trio of happy bunnies. Bella watched us go, fresh tears tracing paths down her cheeks. She knew this was pathetic, demeaning, but she couldn't bear the thought of losing me. She kept her word, staying at the gate all night. By morning, she had collapsed from exhaustion and fever. She spent several days in the hospital and had a mutual friend let me know, but I never showed up. She went home and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. A wild, desperate idea began to form in her mind. After she recovered, the first thing Bella did was go shopping. But this time, she didn't go to the designer boutiques. She went straight to the vintage markets, buying cheap crop tops, cargo pants, leopard print jackets, and skin-tight silver leggings. She bought flashy, oversized jewelry. She went to a salon and dyed her hair a shocking shade of red, got her ears pierced in multiple places, and bought a collection of dramatic hoop earrings. Back home, she stood in front of the mirror and copied the makeup she'd seen on Pixie, Roxy, and Jinx, thick winged eyeliner, dark eyeshadow, and bright, bold lipstick. She stared at the stranger in the mirror and took a deep breath. It was insane, but to get me back, she would try anything. She would become the kind of woman she thought I wanted now. She would give me all the emotional value I could handle. I used to bend over backward for her, and she'd been indifferent. Now, it was her turn to do the chasing. For days, Bella obsessively watched the girls' streams and TikToks, studying their slang, their mannerisms. She practiced their carefree laughs, their cute, pouting expressions for the camera, their way of calling me handsome. It felt ridiculous, humiliating. But then she'd think of me, and she'd grit her teeth and keep going. One morning, the girls and I were lounging around my apartment, having just finished a stream. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Who could that be so early? I muttered, untangling myself from the girls. Pixie was draped over my back, Roxy was clinging to my front, and Jinx was trailing behind me like a shadow. I opened the door. Standing there was a girl with bright red hair, wearing a crop top, cargo pants, and oversized sunglasses adorned with cheap, flashy jewelry. Her face was covered in heavy makeup. It was Bella. She dramatically whipped off her sunglasses, revealing her meticulously painted eyes. She struck a pose, and in a sickly sweet, high-pitched voice, she purred, "Hey, handsome, I want to be your girlfriend. What do you say?" The voice was so forced, so unlike her, I almost wondered if she'd been possessed. I stared at her for a long, silent moment. "Girlfriend? You don't qualify, but I'm looking for a new maid. If you can learn to speak like a normal human being, you can come in." I can do that," she stammered, her voice cracking. "I can do anything." Before the words were even fully out of her mouth, she scrambled past me and into the apartment.